I am owed about $7,000 in unpaid usage rights because a digital agency and their client, a major brand that you definitely know, ran ads using my content for nearly a year without my knowledge or my consent. I discovered that this ad had been running at the end of last year when I noticed a notification buried in my Instagram settings. Now, for context, I did work with the brand, but it was through the agency. They were representing the brand. And so I signed a contract with the agency and I delivered to them the 2 reels that were part of the contract, and they came with 6 months of usage rights. But after those 6 months of contractual usage rights, the ads were restarted and then they ran for several months, like almost a year. I reached out to the agency as soon as I realized what had happened because they are who I signed the contract with, and they have been an actual nightmare to deal with. I told them what had happened. I included screenshots of all the ads. I included my standard usage rates, and then I added an invoice for all the ads that had run. And I politely asked that either they or the brand pay me. So the wild thing is that the agency at first did acknowledge that the contract had been breached, but over time they ghosted me and I had to continuously follow up with them for months until they eventually told me that they didn't think they were responsible for the invoice because they weren't the ones who actually ran the ads. Allegedly, the client ran the ads. So my next step was to reach out to the brand directly. I have done this, but they have not responded so far. This is not about the money that I am owed. I'm upset because my image and my work was used in advertising without my knowledge, and this feels like a violation. And this happens to content creators often. Massive brands with massive budgets treat creator contracts like they are optional guidelines instead of legal agreements. When a brand continues profiting from someone's likeness and labor after the agreed licensing period ends, taking away that creator's right to control how their work is used, where it appears, and what it's associated with. That is not just unethical, it undermines the basic idea that creators deserve ownership, consent, and compensation for their work. I'm going to continue pursuing the payment that I'm owed, and if you are a creator, I hope that you will keep an eye on your work, how it is used, and if an agreement is violated, speak up about it. Because content creators deserve the same respect, protections, and accountability that any other professional would expect in their industry.